Hello, everyone. Welcome to the review of the Houston Texans. We're going to take a look at the roster, compare the ratings to that of EA, and then just kind of talk about this overview for this team going into next season. So the Texans, I have a very optimistic outlook on. I have them 7th in my power rankings, which is very high. I could actually see them representing the AFC in the Super Bowl next season, mainly because of this defense, but also because they have the assets on offense to make it a serviceable unit, but they just need that quarterback. So let's take a look at the quarterback, Brock Osweiler. All these guys going down. Really, I don't think any of these guys should be starting next year. I wouldn't be surprised if Osweiler is starting next season, but I don't think he should be. But just, they're paying him so much, they might just have to. I think this is the number one team that should try and sell out for Jimmy Garoppolo because they don't have to pay him too much this season. He has a background with Bill O'Brien, and it would really be an awesome fit. And then they could cut Osweiler next year without having a massive cap penalty. I don't think it's going to happen, but if I was a Texans fan, I would want to trade a lot of picks to try and get Jimmy Garoppolo over. So that's it for the quarterbacks. Running backs, Lamar Miller goes pretty far down. He was extremely disappointing this year. Doesn't really break tackles, and I'm not impressed with his vision. Really just a speed guy that didn't capitalize on his opportunities. At times, ALFRED Blue actually looked like a better fit for this scheme than Lamar Miller. So, I think he'll still be the lead guy going into next year. They're paying him too much to move on from him. But, man, what a disappointing season for Lamar Miller. And then at receiver, DeAndre Hopkins, I move him back up a little bit. I think, he's still a stud receiver. He just didn't have the numbers. He was like an 88, I think. But it is a product of his quarterbacks. And then the rest of these guys stay about the same. At tight end, CJ Fedorowicz goes down. He was like an 82. He had a lot of receptions this year, but again, just kind of a product of them not being able to spread the ball downfield. They had to check it down a ton. But he is a good blocker. Same with Ryan Griffin. Offensive line, this has traditionally been a very good offensive line. They had some heavy hitting injuries this season, so it's going to really depend on if those guys can come back healthy. But DeJuan Brown was coming back from injury towards the end of the year and really started to come back into form. He's one of the better left tackles. Xavier Su'a-Filo, nothing much there. But then the centers, Greg Mance had a decent year at center. He does come down a little bit. And then Nick Martin, I know they had high expectations for him. But he suffered an injury in the preseason, didn't play a single game. And then on the right side, you had Derek Newton went down with an awful injury. I don't expect him to really rally back. I think it was a double fibula or something. It was awful. And then on the defense, J.J. Watt, I moved from 99 to a 98. I was really close to keeping him as the only 99 because he's so well-rounded that I had to move a lot of his stuff down, and I might still move him back to a 99, to be honest. But the injuries are a bit concerning, especially when you're talking about the back. But keep an eye on that as you're using the roster. He might go back up to a 99 the more I think about it. And then his return is the reason I'm so optimistic for this defense and this team as a whole. They were already the number one defense in football, and then they get the best non-quarterback returning to their team. And it's just going to be crazy to see this defense click next season. Jadeveon Clowney emerged as another star. So, pairing him with J.J. Watt and Whitney Merciless, it's going to be very frustrating to play these guys next year. And then Vince Wilfork, I would expect he'll be on his way out, just not really producing at nose tackle anymore. And then the linebackers are very good as well. John Simon's not a bad fourth linebacker to have on your team. Just kind of a well-rounded guy. And then these two guys moving up, I had to move Cushing up quite a bit above McKinney, but these guys are both solid. And then Whitney Merciless had a great season. It just really broke out. I did not expect their pass rush to be so consistent throughout the year, and this was the main reason why Whitney Merciless absolutely killed it this year. And then at corner, AJ Boye, another guy that broke out. He's a free agent, but the Texans have no plans to let him go. I think he'll be back. He'll make a great contract. And then Jonathan Joseph, getting older but still a solid player. Kareem Jackson and Kevin Johnson. This is a super deep secondary. And then the safeties are just okay. They do their job behind a very solid unit in front of them. I think they could use a playmaker in the secondary. You know, just imagine if they went and got like Eric Berry, how insane this defense could be next year. So I have a very optimistic outlook for the Texans. They need some things to click right, but it's all in line for them to be very solid next year. So next up, we got the Titans and then the Vikings, and we'll be all done with these reviews. But the roster is done, guys, just a reminder, and you can find it in the file share on Madden 17. So we'll see you for the next episode. Thanks, guys. Peace out.